Today we're going to talk about accident statistics from the NTSB and have a look at several different parts of aviation just to see loss of control in flight's dominance in several areas, which we're going to jump into. So remember, folks, as a pilot, are you prepared to deal with an unexpected airplane upset event on its way to a fatal loss of control in flight accident? That's the underlying question in this series. Let's jump right in. All right, let's look at a few parts of aviation. This is the air carrier level, the period ending in 2023, a 10-year period. And you can see that 66% of fatalities were associated with loss of control in flight, dwarfing all the other categories. Now, the worldwide view may be a little bit high level for you, so let's get a little bit closer to home. Let's take a look at the same period for business aviation accidents by defining event. You can see here that loss of control in flight accounted for 40.6% of all fatalities in that period. But the other startling part of it is take a look at the fatal accidents. Over 20 fatal accidents also associated with loss of control in flight, the #1 fatal accident category, and even a number of accidents overall. So let's go a little bit more home, because you may not be in the airline market. Maybe you're not in the business aviation market, which is typically business operators, Part 135, on-demand, corporate executive. Let's say it's personal aviation for you. You're just out flying your Cessna, your King Air, your TBM, your Citation, your Gulfstream, and you're flying in general aviation. Well, what do the categories look like for you? Well, again, loss of control in flight in this category, 45% of all fatalities, again dominating in fatal accidents and also accidents overall. But that should catch your attention. Fatal accidents, and most importantly fatalities, which is the best measure of severity according to ICAO, loss of control in flight dominates, which tells us there's a major gap in the training system that allows this. So if you're thinking about loss of control as very rare, I don't need to worry about it. Well, while it is rare, it happens more than anything else. So if you're investing in safety and what you want to mitigate, really this education process we're going through here is really, really important to that. So hopefully I've made the point here that loss of control in flight is the #1 killer and deserves your attention. So what does a mitigation look like? Well, the mitigation looks like driving down that big column on the left. So an effective mitigation beyond what we're doing now, because remember the existing training system has established loss of control is the #1 threat to air safety. A paradigm shift implementation will result in effective aerodynamics driving it down a little bit. Look at the top of those red columns. Effective simulator training, driving it down more. Effective on-aircraft training, driving it down. And APS has demonstrated this level of mitigation of the risk of loss of control in flight. And we're going to talk about some of that in the series, but again, I'm not here to try to convince you to train with APS. This is an educational series, but the thing I want you to be aware of is that those big red columns are being perpetuated by the current training system by the ineffective use of academics, on-aircraft training, advanced simulation, non-type specific, type specific, and even virtual reality. So loss of control is the #1 killer, so we need to dive in and look at this to see how we're going to take action. And this is where we start talking next about the safety risk management process.